Many of you may think that chickens were the first animal we got when we moved out into the country, but you would actually be wrong. Would you believe it was actually rabbits? And today is one of those days that you dread as you watch animals get older, because sometimes you have to make some tough decisions. So that's my day today, and I thought I'd make a quick video as an ode to a rabbit while I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next here. So yes, it was actually rabbits that we got when we first moved here. And we started out with a really big, sweet Flemish giant named Arwen. And she lived out with the chickens, but unfortunately didn't do so well. I think she only lived to be about 4, and she kind of got sick, couldn't walk, had some issues, but she was hilarious and funny and huge, and just kind of laid around out there in the big yard with the chickens and hung out. She was really a lot of fun. And then came Ferdler. Ferdler was one of those adorable baby rabbits that your kids see at the fair. And he was part of a doe and her litter, and we fell prey to that. And along came Ferdler, 2010, so it's been 9 years ago. Unfortunately, my sweet bunny Ferdler is having some struggles here the last couple days. So I thought I'd share with you some of the things we have learned about having rabbits over the years. May not always be what you think. Lesson number 1. Just because an animal is purchased to be a 4-H project doesn't mean they're ever going to make it to the fair. So parents, don't be duped, and I might want to add husbands, don't be duped, because I know us wives sometimes are just as guilty of that. Lesson number 2, rabbits are hilariously sweet pets, especially when you let them kind of run around and have a little bit of freedom. They are very curious and they are very affectionate. Not all, but a lot of them are. The 2 that we had were. And like to come when you call them. They come running up. They love attention. They like other animals and kind of take over the area they're in as their own. They have their own routines. They're just really fun pets to have. Lesson number 3. Before I get started, I'll say this. Whenever I mention this lesson, it gets some of the house rabbit people very, very upset. So I apologize in advance, but I'm still going to say it. Rabbits are incredibly destructive when left to their own devices. If you want to set up a 24-hour-a-day jungle gym of some sort to keep them occupied at all times, then great. Apparently people do that. But in our experience, they're just plain destructive. So that is definitely something to take into account if you're going to have a rabbit who kind of has run of an area. Now, Ferdler has been in my garage, and he has a whole little story about that. He kind of had free reign of my garage with this cage out there. I let him out a lot until he learned to use the cat door and had a few escapes. Once for a full 24 hours. I thought he was a goner and the coyotes found him, but we got him back. So after that, he became an only free-range rabbit at night once the door was shut and the cats were inside. But he still has done a lot. I'll go show you. No, wait. On second thought, I'm not going to show you. It's too embarrassing. The 4th thing I was surprised to find out about rabbits is they're becoming very popular. And a lot of vets see rabbits now. There are people who treat them just like cats and dogs, which also means that a lot more is expected if you're trying to keep a pet rabbit. But it's interesting to me to see how their popularity is growing. And last but not least, rabbit is a lifetime commitment. It is a big commitment, as we found out with Ferdler. We have had him for years. And with some of that, if you want to keep an animal for that long, you have to be prepared to deal with him. I never expected him to still be around. I got him as a cast-off from one of our kids who kind of got tired of taking care of him. And instead of finding him a different home, I, as a grown woman, got a pet rabbit. But I'm really glad that I did. And I'm actually kind of glad that we let him run around in the garage, even though the destruction is unbelievable. I would not do it again. Just to see the personality of a rabbit. He's been a lot of fun. So all good things must come to an end, which is what kind of brings me to today's video. Ferdler has had trouble with his teeth now for a while, and I've been keeping him going, trying to keep him eating things that are good for his teeth. But he has developed a lump on his jaw here the last couple days. I don't know if you can see that big white patch, but that's a swelling, and it's showing the white fur under his chin. So he's still acting good. He's eating and he's running around and he wants to be petted, but I don't see anything good coming out of that. Surgery is not an option that we're going to do with this old bunny. So I'm kind of deciding the next steps for Ferdler. Now, I know some of you are going to laugh at me over this, and then there might be some people who watch this and are horrified that I would not go have surgery done on a 9-year-old rabbit. I've already looked into this with my vet, and they do a very reasonably priced, simple, peaceful, humane euthanasia, which is what I'm trying to decide on today. Because what I don't want is him to suffer, and I have to think that is very painful. And I don't want him to suffer like that. And for those of us who have animals, livestock, you know, sometimes when it's a pet, that's just not something that you want to do. If you can find a reasonably priced way to deal with it. So as much as I will miss Ferdler, he has been so much fun and just a really, really sweet bunny. I will miss him, especially going out in my garage because they do a lot of work out there. So I'm definitely going to miss Ferdler, but at the same time, it's going to be kind of nice to get my garage back. And I'm going to keep this video so I can watch it every time I'm tempted to put another rabbit out there in the garage and start this again. 9 years has been a long time for this. So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys the next time.